Bonjour. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for signing up for our class. Welcome. Can everyone just put something on the chat, an okay, a thumbs up, something to just confirm you can hear me, and then we'll be good to go. All right, thanks. Thanks, Ihoma. Thank you. Welcome. Um, so basically, we'll just run through some quick introductions, and before we probably start, others will join us. So let's not just keep everyone waiting. Um, so basically, this is what we'll be looking at. We'll be trying to learn some basic French in 4 weeks. So to go around over some basic rules, everyone try and mute your mics and turn off cameras so that we can have a seamless experience and a hitch-free experience. One other thing to make sure is try and make sure you're in a conducive environment. We all know everybody can get very laid back when it comes to online classes and all, but to get the optimum learning experience, try and picture yourself, like you're in an actual class. Take time, set yourself apart from others, and try and be in a conducive learning environment. If you have any questions, comments, observations, please feel free. Just raise your hand use the raise your hand icon in the chat section, and then someone will attend to your question, or you could just drop the question in the chat and then we'll get to it. All right. Very quickly, if you could just chat with me, let me know what are your learning objectives. What is it you are looking to learn in this course? Why did you sign up? If you want to talk, you can just unmute yourself and talk quickly. Let's hear you. Ihoma and Simirin Tim Kwali. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. If you could just unmute your mic, introduce yourself and tell us your learning objective, what you are looking to learn or what you hope to achieve, and why you are learning French.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Hello, can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? All right, good morning. I don't know, I'm just trying to learn a new language, trying to learn French seems like a very good language. And also, I plan on immigrating to Canada. I noticed that having been bilingual can be an added advantage. So in this class, I'm hoping to improve my French and maybe probably meet some people that are going to learn along with.
Your audio is echoing. Sorry, your audio is echoing a bit. And so, if I heard you correctly, you said you just want to learn a second language. You mentioned Canada. You are considering relocation, and you are looking to boosting your chances by learning another language. Is that correct?
Yes, that's very correct.
All right. Thank you. Hopefully, at the end of this, I can assure you that this course is putting your foot in the door. It's definitely a step in the right direction to seeing your desires come to reality. So welcome and thanks for signing up. Do you have any knowledge in French? Have you learned French before? Do you have any French experience?
I did a little bit of French in school, but that was ages. Also, I'm learning for this bilingual app, but it's different learning alone and learning with other people. So I
You're
think
learning
it
with
will be
apps
the
as
best
well?
for me. Yes, this is the Duolingo app for learning languages.
Yeah, Duolingo is very helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. Yeah, does anyone else want to go? Uzezi Komunibo, thank you, welcome, thanks for joining. We're just about to start. So we're just going around the room, people telling us their objectives for signing up for the class. Why do you want to learn French? Why is it important to you? Tim Kwali just told us he's looking at relocation, so he's hoping to learn a second language. And like I said earlier, it's definitely a step in the right direction if you learn a second language for immigration purposes. It sets you apart from thousands and thousands of other people. It boosts your CRS score. So very quickly, we will just proceed. Yeah. So why learning French? The reason I even learned French is a funny story. Yeah. Um, I didn't learn French for immigration or anything. I actually didn't plan to study French. I applied to study law in the university. And you know how universities and JAM can be. You apply for one course, you get another course. And I got French. And to be honest, I didn't want to go ahead with the course because I was like, why French? Do they even study French in school? But my parents encouraged me. They're like, yeah, just go for it. It shouldn't be too bad. If you can't cope, you leave. But if you cope and you enjoy it, yeah, fine. So I started um my eyes began to open to the opportunities that could come as a result of learning a second language. And that's how I remained. And I studied French at the University of Benin. So it's really been an interesting journey. Um, I will tell you for free that all the jobs I've had since finishing my NYSC to date has all been as a result of my French speaking abilities. I've worked as bilingual HR officers, I've worked as regional training officers for embassies, and all these opportunities I got simply because I could speak French. So it's definitely all right. So why do you want to learn French? We've touched on some of them. It could be for immigration purposes, like Tim Kwali said, it's his case. It could be for immigration. You know that learning French increases your CRS score in the Canadian Express entry pool, so that's a good one. Some people want to study, so you want to apply to schools in francophone speaking countries, or you want to explore scholarships in francophone countries as well. Learning French is a good um, way to do that. It puts you in that position to take advantage of opportunities that might arise. It could be in your career. Like I just mentioned, personally, French has been absolutely instrumental in the progress of my career. I'm a project officer, and the French language really, really has opened doors for me, unimaginable doors. I cannot overemphasize that. So it opens you to more opportunities, both locally, regionally, internationally. Learning French will always give you that competitive edge against your peers in the job market. And even if you are not a career person, if you're in business, learning French gives you that chance to scale your business, to expand into Francophone Africa. I would to interest you to know that there are, even in Africa, there are more Francophone countries than there are Anglophone. I know it sounds crazy, but it's really true. There are more French-speaking countries in Africa than there are English-speaking countries. So learning French, makes you talk to almost everyone in the world, really. And lastly, it can enhance your travel experience, right? You can earn bragging rights. If you can speak French, the other person can speak French. You can earn bragging rights. Can you speak French? And press it down there. So it sort of makes you an enigma, an interesting person if you can speak French. To give a quick example on enhancing your travel experience. So I travel to when you go on holiday, when you travel on holiday, when you travel for business meetings, conferences, you go to a francophone country. If you speak French, you definitely will have enjoy more of that experience. And even if it's not a francophone country, let me give you an example. Sometime last year, I went for a conference in South Africa. Of course, South Africa is English speaking. So I was at the hotel and I wasn't feeling the food they were selling in the hotel. So I looked for a Nigerian restaurant and I brought food and got back. And you know how hotels can be when it comes to warming, heating up food that you didn't get from them. Yeah. So I'm like, let me try. So I went to the restaurant. I asked to speak to one of the attendants there. And, immediately I saw his name tag. I saw that it was a French name. So immediately I knew the guy was from a Francophone country. Somebody that was very reluctant about eating my food, but because I could speak French and I was able to engage him in an Anglophone country, but because I could relate with him one on one with his language competence, this guy was practically at my service the whole time while I was at that conference. So it's really, really interesting. And I would say thank you for taking this step to starting this experience. Does anybody here have knowledge of French before now? Your level of French, basic, intermediate, advanced? Can we put that in the comments? What's your level of French? Your French speaking level? Is it basic? Is it bonjour and then there's nothing more? Anybody? Who do we have here? A little higher than basic. Excellent. C'est super, Ioma. Merci beaucoup. Beginner, yes, beginner. This is the place to be. Ioma, have you done any French certification exam, DELF or DALF? Okay, let's just keep that moving. So the class is going to be really, really engaging. I would like you to, engage me, raise your hands, ask questions if you need to ask in the chat, and we'll attend to it. It's no judgment zone. Like I say to all my learners, it's no judgment zone. The only way to learn French is to try to speak French. No matter how funny you think you sound, if you don't speak it out, you will never speak French. So no matter how funny you think you sound, you speak. If it's not right, you get corrected, and then you have learned. So it's a no judgment zone. We encourage everyone to speak, open up and speak, and we will correct accordingly. You're planning on writing Delph. All right, good, nice one there, Ioma. So in the course of this our learning program, the entire 1 month. So for today, we'll be looking at greetings and introductions, how to greet people, how to introduce yourself in French, in familiar and unfamiliar circumstances, because the French, there's a way they talk to people they are familiar with, and there's a different way you relate to people you do not have a relationship with. So we are going to look at introduction and greetings in these two contexts, exchanging of pleasantries as well. Next week, that's the second class, we'll be looking at French nouns, French articles, and pronouns. So unlike English language, French nouns have genders. We'll be looking at the genders of French, how to determine the genders, because they are very, very important, learning French genders. We'll be looking at the French indefinite article and its uses. We'll also be looking into personal pronouns in French. In the third week, we'll be looking at conjugation of ER verbs. So verbs in French are in three different categories. So in the third week, we'll be looking at the ER category, which is one of the most popular categories of French verbs, and we'll be learning how to conjugate them in the present tense. We'll learn what conjugation is, and we'll learn how to conjugate them in the present tense. We'll also try to make simple sentences, short simple sentences, subject, verb, object sort of sentences in the third week. And in the fourth week, we'll try and do speaking practice. Speaking practice, we'll take turns to speak, we'll have exercises, we'll do a recap, and we'll have some CEF sample questions that touch on these areas that we have treated. All right. Yeah, basically, yeah, so that's it. Another thing to mention is these tools. So I have some tools. These are things that I found very instrumental in the course of my learning and my teaching, of course, and I recommend them. Dictionaries, conjugation books, and a grammar book. It's nice you have them. Dictionary shows you, the different, aside just the online translator apps or tools that we have. It's nice to have a dictionary because the dictionary shows you the various contexts of the meaning of a word, different contexts it can be used, and the genders as well. It's really good to have a conjugation book. The day we do French verbs, I'm going to show you a picture of the conjugation book where it looks like there are different types. Then you need to have a grammar book. There are loads and loads of grammar textbooks that you can find. Anyone you get is good. Another thing is we have lots of French learning apps. One I find very useful is Bonjour, 500 French conversations. So you can find these apps on your Play Store or your App Store. 500 French conversation has like 500 conversations of different scenarios. So at the restaurant, um, making an order, buying something, moving into a new apartment, going to the airport. So you have different scenarios like that, and you have conversations around these scenarios. What this helps you do is it helps to build your vocabulary. It helps when you listen and the transcription of what they say is written in the app. So it helps to build your vocabulary, helps you learn new words that you can use in different situations. So it's really, really, really useful. In the course of in the class, we have assignments and resources I'll be dropping for you to study. Please make sure you also use these resources because they will help you to learn better. Another one I like is Easy French Stories. So you can look for it online. These are like short passages in French. You can listen to it, and then the meaning in English is also there. Again, this helps to build your vocabulary. Then we have Learn French by Podcast. This one I'll say is an unconscious way of learning French. So it's on any of your podcast apps, Spotify, or any podcast app that you use. So just search for Learn French by Podcast. And then you have loads and loads and loads of episodes there. If you are driving to work, or if you are commuting to the office, or if you're having a bit of downtime, you can just plug it in and listen. What I like to point out about this is, even though you might not immediately understand every single bit of what is said, yeah, what they say is being broken down, is explained and all, but passively it registers in your subconscious and you get very used to the sound of the language. Listening to this podcast over and over and over again, it registers in your head and you get used to the sound and the flow of the French language. Then, of course, we have Duolingo. Um, Tim Kwali already mentioned that he uses Duolingo. Duolingo is really, really good. It's free. All these apps are free, by the way. Duolingo is really, really good. It prompts you every day when to take your French lessons. It helps you to learn new words, something like flashcards, and then it brings up new words. And over time, you begin to learn new words and know how to speak. Please download Duolingo and let it be your buddy, your companion. Um, on YouTube, yeah, these YouTube channels are what I really, really recommend. I enjoy it a lot. Learn French with Alexa, and we have French Cultural Institute of Seville. So these two. Can everyone hear me, please? I'm getting some messages that they can hear me. Can everyone hear me? If you
I
can
can
hear me,
hear
let me
you.
just put some. Okay. Okay, great. Because I'm getting some feedback that some people can't hear me. Um, Ibrahim, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, great. Thank you. Uzezi, if you can't hear me, it's probably your connection. Check that your connection is stable and that your speaker is increased as high as possible. Yeah. Thank you. So these YouTube channels are two I find very helpful. Learn French with Alexa, and we have the French Cultural Institute of Seville. So these YouTube channels are helpful. And then the last point is, engage, try and engage. Join a French class, which is what we're doing here. So thumbs up for that. Join a French class. and try and learn in the community. Try and look for people who can speak French. Disturb them. In French, they say c'est en forgeant qu'on devient forgeron, meaning it is while blacksmithing you become a blacksmith. You cannot learn how to be a blacksmith without actually trying the action of blacksmithing, if that makes sense. Wisdom like practice makes perfect. So you need to learn, look for people that can speak French, disturb them, and have that mindset of wanting to learn, because learning in a community, joining a class is really, really helpful. All right. So do we have any questions, concerns before we move ahead? We can proceed, yeah? Just type yes in the comments, so in the chat, so I know that we're good to go. And everyone is with me on the same page, because we're about to go into the class on just. All right. Merci beaucoup. Yoma, merci. Bon, allons-y. So, we're going to look at some keywords in introducing yourself and saying hello. All right. So some keywords we find very recurrent and you will always need to use are bonjour. I'm going to say the word and you just listen. Bonjour. Bonjour. It means good morning. Even a baby that was born today, I'm really sure knows what bonjour means. Yeah. And then we have bonsoir. Bonsoir means good evening. We have bonne nuit. Bonne nuit. It means good night. We have bienvenue. 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 Bienvenue means welcome. And then we have salut. Salut means hi or hello. It's used when you meet your friends, when you get to, it's like the equivalent of what's up. Like, so in scenarios where you say what's up in English, you say salut in French, right? We have comment ça va. This one is very easy. It means how are you? Comment ça va? Then we have comment allez-vous. It also means how are you? All right. Comment ça va means how are you? Comment allez-vous also means how are you? Then we have comment tu t'appelles. Everybody remembers that Makossa song now. Je m'appelle. Comment tu t'appelles? Yeah. This comment tu t'appelles. It means what is your name? Then we have comment vous appelez-vous. That also means what is your name? All right. In the next slides, I'm going to explain the differences between comment tu t'appelles and comment vous appelez-vous. Remember when I said we're going to learn how to introduce yourself or how to express yourself in familiar and unfamiliar situations. So that is where the difference between these two comes. The difference between comment tu t'appelles and comment vous appelez-vous. D'accord? Alors. Then we have je m'appelle, which is my name is. All right. Je m'appelle Anne. Je m'appelle Anne. My name is Anne. And then you can also say je suis. If you don't want to say je m'appelle, you can say je suis. It also means I am. Excuse me 1 minute. Yeah. Je suis also means I am. So I can say je m'appelle Anne or je suis Anne. It means the same thing. All right. Then we have au revoir. Au revoir means bye, goodbye. Then a bientôt, see you soon. So I'm going to read through again the French part and you just listen and try and vocalize it at your end. All right. Bonjour. Bonsoir. Bonne nuit. Bienvenue. Salut. Comment ça va? Comment allez-vous? Comment tu t'appelles? Comment vous appelez-vous? Je m'appelle. Je suis. Au revoir. À bientôt. I'll take that again. Bonjour. Bonsoir. Bonne nuit. Bienvenue. Salut. Comment ça va? Comment allez-vous? Comment tu t'appelles? Comment vous appelez-vous? Je m'appelle. Je suis. Au revoir. À bientôt. Yeah, Ioma, we can also add enchanté. Très bien, that's another good word. In fact, that's one of my favorite French words. Enchanté means nice to meet you. All right, nice to meet you. Very quickly, let's go into the difference between comment tu t'appelles and comment vous appelez-vous, and then we'll look at some sentences, right? So, in French, we have the tu and the vous. To break it down here, tu here is if you are speaking to somebody you know very well, right? Someone you are very familiar to, your colleague, um, your your siblings. You can use tu for them. So comment tu t'appelles? So that's that. But you're talking to somebody you do not know very well, someone you're not very familiar with. When you're talking to superiors, people that are like older than you, especially in the workplace, you use vous. D'accord? You use vous for unfamiliar or formal situations, and you use tu for people that you're very familiar with. All right. So if I want to speak to people, someone I know very well, let's say comment tu t'appelles, or someone you know very well, you won't be asking them their name, or I say comment ça va. But if it's somebody you do not know very well, or if you're in a formal setting, or you want to speak to your boss or your superior, you use comment vous appelez-vous, or you say that is for what is your name. Same way, if you want to ask someone, how are you doing, or how are you? For someone you are very familiar with, you say comment ça va. In an unfamiliar or in a formal scenario, you say comment allez-vous. D'accord? And then for plural, of course, you use vous. So if you're talking to a group of people, many people, you use vous. Regardless if it's a single person, regardless if it's in an informal or a formal situation, you use vous. So if I'm talking to a group of people, like I come into a class, new students, I really don't know who they are, or even if they are students I know very well. But because they're a group of people, the plural, I'll say comment allez-vous. D'accord? Do we understand the differences? If you understand, can you just put yes in the comments in the chat section, comment section, like it's a YouTube channel. So if you understand and it's clear, can you just put yes? Bon, c'est clair, pas de questions. Ioma, c'est clair aussi? Is it clear as well, Ioma? Oui, merci. Alors, on y va. So, this is just like what I just explained. So, in an informal situation, or people that you are very familiar with, you say, comment tu t'appelles? All right? But if it's for somebody you don't know, somebody you're not familiar with, if it's for your superiors, your bosses, you say, comment vous appelez-vous? D'accord? Can we see the differences now between tu and vous? You can see the tu here, and you can see the vous here. They both mean the same thing. They both mean what is your name. but we need to take cognizance of these differences. But if you make the mistake, if you make the mistake, there's no penalty. There's no penalty. No one is going to penalize you, yeah. But we're just trying to explain the different context of how to use, these two different sentences. All right. Very quickly now we'll move into some sentences and presentation. Because I'm using Chrome and it's fine. Can somebody on the support team please look into Uzezi's request and please sort her out? Thank you. Hello, I'll continue. So, when you're trying to introduce yourself in French, there are some basic things. Or when you're trying to introduce yourself generally, that's your introduction, your name, your nationality. Let's say milestones or basic key point when you're introducing yourself. All right. So your name, your nationality, or your country, depending on the context anyway. But these are areas, these are things that I will want you to talk about your country, how to talk about your profession, what you do, how to say your age, and how to talk about your address, where you live. D'accord? So, pour se présenter, il y a certaines questions de base auxquelles vous devez répondre. So, that's basically what I said. To introduce yourself, you must hit some of these major, you must provide some of this major information. So we've looked, well, the first one is comment tu t'appelles, all right, which is what we have talked about earlier. It means what's your name? Comment tu t'appelles? Then if it's for somebody you're not familiar with, or if it's for your boss, d'accord? So whenever you hear the question, comment tu t'appelles? Comment vous appelez-vous? Tu réponds, je m'appelle Anne. Je m'appelle Uzizi. Je m'appelle Ioma. Je m'appelle Ifrain. C'est clair? Je pense que c'est clair. So the next thing you want to learn is your nationality. I believe we're all Nigerians. So is there any non-Nigerian here? I believe we're all Nigerians. So, quel âge as-tu? Okay. Quel âge as-tu? That's the question. How old are you? I hope you guys are paying attention, because when we're done, I'm going to engage each of you in a conversation. I'll ask the questions and you would answer me. All right? I'll ask the questions, you would answer. So, quel âge as-tu? How old are you? Quel âge avez-vous? It also means how old are you? But again, you can see the tu and the vous. Can someone tell me in the chat, when do we use vous? Quel âge avez-vous? Who could I possibly be talking to when I say quel âge avez-vous? Will I be talking to my sister, or will I be talking to my supervisor? Anyone? If you know, can you put it in the chat? So at least I know we're following. Yes, thank you, Ioma. Is it only Ioma we have on this call? Please, oh. Who else is here? We have other people here. Olanrewaju, Tim Kwali, Rukayat, Uzezi, Komonibo. All right. So please, let's try and engage. Let's try and engage so that I know that we are following me. All right. Quel âge avez-vous? How old are you? when you're talking to an elderly person or a stranger or a superior person like your boss. Then quel âge as-tu if you're talking to your guy, if you're talking to your friends. Oh, mommy, bien, quel âge as-tu? How old are you? Or you're talking to your younger one, all right? And they both mean, how old are you? And then they answer, j'ai 30 ans. I'm 30 years old, all right? J'ai 30 ans. Any questions on this slide? Any questions on this slide before we proceed, please? Yes, no? Let me know in the chat. Any questions? Ask questions. So no question. Any questions, Rukayat? Any questions, Olanrewaju? Est-ce qu'il y a des questions? Bon, I'll take it that no question. Next is to talk about what you do. Quelle est ta profession? Quelle est votre profession? Again, this is the same thing when we talk about familiar and unfamiliar. If it's for somebody I know and I'm very familiar with, I'll say, quelle est ta profession? Tu means you. Ta means your, all right? But they are both used for unfamiliar or, yeah. They're used for familiar situations when you know who you're talking to, when you have a very good relationship with the person, and if the person is younger, right? Then, quelle est votre profession? C'est la même chose. It means the same thing, but in this case, you're talking to people you do not know so well, someone you don't know so well, or somebody that is your superior. And then to respond, you say, je suis comme moi. Now I'm a teacher. I say, je suis professeur de français. I'm a French teacher. Je suis professeur de français. Can you let me know in the chat what is it you do? And then I can tell you what it is in French. So that when it's your turn to introduce yourself, you know what to do. All right. Ioma, what do you do? Quelle est ta profession, Ioma? Olanrewaju, Rukayat. Who else is here? Yeah. What's your profession? Yeah, can someone tell me what their profession is in English, not in French, in English? And then, yeah, fashion designer. Je suis so fashion designer. We can say créative de mode. D'accord? Anyone else? Ihoma, je suis un avocat. Très bien. Olanrewaju, what's your profession? Okay, team engineer. Engineer is engineer. So engineer is in French is ingénieur. D'accord? So when it's your turn to tell me about yourself, you say, Je suis ingénieur. Did you hear that, Tim Kwali? Je suis ingénieur. Super. Ioma, je suis avocat. Uzezi, je suis créative de mode. We're waiting for Larry Waju. Larry, can you hear me? Can Larry hear me? Okay, so je suis professeur de français. I'm a French teacher. If I'm a doctor, I'll say je suis médecin. If I am a, what other professions are there? Help me. Lawyer, je suis avocat. I'm a manager, je suis gestionnaire, and so on and so on. If I'm a nurse, I say je suis infirmier. Yeah, and this is where your dictionary comes in. Remember when I said your dictionary is like your second Bible right now? You carry it along with you and try and learn the meaning of words on the go. Can you give me your age in English? Let me give you in French. So that when we are talking about ourselves, you have all the information that you need to introduce yourself. All right? Drop it in the chat and I'll get to it very quickly. And then the last part is to talk about where you live. J'habite à Lekki. J'habite à Lekki. All right, so je m'appelle Anne. Je suis nigérienne. Je suis professeur de français. J'ai 30 ans and j'habite à Lekki. All right? I'm 27 years old. J'ai 27 ans. What's your age in English? Give me the number, then I give you the equivalent in French. So I'll go over it again. Comment tu t'appelles? Question. Answer. Je m'appelle Anne. Quelle est ta nationalité? Question. Answer. Je suis nigérian. Question. The answer. Je suis. Quel âge as-tu? Question. Answer. J'ai 30 ans. And the last question. Où habites-tu? Answer. J'habite à Lekki. All right. Let me try go over it again. Uzezi. Créative de mode. Did you hear me? Créative de mode. 32 ans. Excellent. Excellent, Eoma. 32 ans. I will go in the parts to each and every one of us now, and I will. And Eoma, tu es là? Eoma? I can't hear you. Je n'écoute pas. Un instant. Je n'entends pas. Can everyone still hear me, please? Okay. Vous êtes prêtes?
Oui, bonjour.
Okay. So okay, since you can hear me, take yourself, or mute yourself, and then let's have this conversation. Oh, really? I can't even hear. Then let's move along. You know, I'm trying to get closer to your mic or something, because I can't even hear you at all. I can see the microphone icon moving, so I know you are talking, but I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Next, let's move to Olanrewaju. Is Olanrewaju there? Okay, we just finished. Team Kwali, tu es prêt? Team Kwali, tu es prêt? Are you ready? Put on your microphone and let's go. Unmute yourself and let's talk. Talk to me. Talk to me. Tu es prêt? D'accord.
Oui.
Ok, d'accord. D'accord, c'est super. Comment ça va? Allô? Allô? Or is it my speaker that is having problems? I can't hear you, Team Kwali. Okay. There is another problem. Donc, comment tu t'appelles?
Ça va bien.
Oui, oui. Oui, oui, I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
D'accord. Comment ça va? Remember
Ça va
our...
bien.
Ça va très bien. Ok, d'accord. Comment tu t'appelles? Comment tu t'appelles?
Je suis Timren.
Timrin. Ah, enchanté. Et quelle est ta nationalité?
Je suis Nigérian.
Okay. Let me highlight something here. So to talk about your nationality, French is a very gender sensitive word, all right, or gender sensitive language, in the sense that we have masculine and feminine of almost everything. And I know it's funny. It's even myself, it's still funny to me. Yeah. But the way you say some things in masculine, it's going to be different from the way it is in feminine.
Yes.
Simran, are you with me or you are against me? Are you with me or you are with other people?
I was with you. I wasn't hearing anything. I think
Okay, let's start
it was
again.
frozen.
Okay, I was trying to explain. In French,
Yeah.
we have masculine and feminine of a lot of things. Yeah. So me, I'm a Nigerian. I can say je suis Nigerian because I'm a woman. A man that wants to say the same thing will say je suis Nigérian. Did you hear the difference? Nigérian for female, Nigérian for male.
Okay.
D'accord?
Okay.
So we'll start afresh. On va recommencer. D'accord? Comment ça va?
Ça va bien.
Ça va bien, d'accord. Et comment tu t'appelles?
Je suis Timmy.
Timrine, enchanté. Moi, je suis Anne. Et quelle est ta nationalité?
Je suis Nigérian.
Okay. You don't need to put une. Je suis Nigérian. Je suis Nigérian. It's fine. Je suis Nigérian. Ah, tu es Nigérian. Moi aussi, je suis Nigériane. Quelle est ta profession?
Je suis ingénieur.
Ingénieur. Moi, je suis professeur. Moi, je suis professeur, je ne suis pas ingénieur. Ingénieur, c'est intéressant. Et quel âge avez-vous?
Please, can you come again?
Quel âge avez-vous?
Quel âge avez-vous? J'ai 27 ans.
I didn't hear that.
J'ai 27 ans.
What's the number you're trying to say in English?
27.
So 27 is 27.
Oh.
Oui. Unfortunately, we're not doing pronunciations in this class, but we're going to have another class after now that will have pronunciations. There's no pronunciation in this particular course, unfortunately, but we're going to have pronunciation. And French pronunciations, I know, is that what you see is not what you hear. But we're going to, if you sign up for our next class, we're going to go into that, all right? But 27 is J'ai 27 ans. D'accord? Quel âge avez-vous?
J'ai 7 ans.
Tu as 27 ans. Moi, j'ai 30 ans. Et où habites-tu?
J'habite à Lagos.
Tu habites à Lagos. Ah, ça c'est bien. Enchanté. If I say enchanté, you can say enchanté as well. Enchanté means nice to meet you. All right?
Enchanté.
You know what? We're going to do it again. Is everyone following? Is everyone else following? When we come to you, please, you will do better than this trial that me and Timrin are having. Because he's like the first person on the block. So people coming after are definitely going to do better. Yeah? Timrin, let's try again. D'accord? Bonjour, je m'appelle Anne. Comment tu t'appelles?
Je m'appelle.
Je m'appelle Anne. Comment tu t'appelles? Timrin.
Je m'appelle Tim.
Timrin, enchanté. Quelle est ta nationalité?
Je suis Nigérian.
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 Timrin, Nigérian. 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 Quelle est ta nationalité?
Je suis Nigérian.
Nigérian. Excellent. Moi, je suis sénégalaise. I just said I'm Senegalese, just for example. Moi, je suis sénégalaise. Et quelle est ta profession?
Je suis ingénieur.
Ingénieur. Ingénieur. Moi, je suis professeur de français et j'ai 30 ans. Quel âge avez-vous?
J'ai 27 ans.
J'ai 27 ans. J'ai 27 ans.
J'ai 27 ans.
All right? J'ai 27 ans. Et où habites-tu? Où habites-tu?
Où habites? J'habite à Lagos.
J'habite à Lagos. Très bien. You know what you do, Simrin? I'll come back to you. Yeah. But what I need you to do is to write your responses out. Je m'appelle Timrin, je suis nigérian, je suis ingénieur, j'ai 27 ans et j'habite à Lagos. Write it down and be rehearsing it in your head. When we're done, I'll circle back to you and you're going to just give me the lowdown like that. All right? Even if you don't take anything away from today's class, you take that the basic introduction away, and then we can both know that we've had a good day. C'est clair?
All right. Oui.
Okay. Yeah. If it, we is yes. C'est clair? Oui. So I'll come back to you, same way. Très bien, hein?
All right.
Vous avez bien fait. You did well. Très bien.
Merci.
Je vous en prie. Next, we're going to move to, who do we have next here? Ioma. Can Ioma try again? Hopefully, I will hear her this time around.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes. It's a bit faint, but I can hear you. Bonjour, Ioma. Comment ça va?
Bonjour. Ça va bien, et vous?
Je vais très bien, Ioma. Enchantée. Vous avez une
Enchantée.
belle voix.
Oui, enchantée.
Moi, je m'appelle Anne Ebeno. Comment vous appelez-vous?
Je m'appelle Ihoma.
Ioma. Et quelle est votre nationalité? Moi, je suis sénégalaise.
Moi, je suis nigériane.
Nigériane. Moi, c'est au Nigeria. Excellent.
Nigériane.
Nigériane, oui. J'aime les Nigérians. Ils sont aimables. Et quelle est ta profession?
Je suis un avocat.
Avocat. Moi, je ne suis pas avocat. Je pense que c'est un peu difficile. Moi, je suis professeur de français. C'est bien pour moi comme ça. Et quel âge avez-vous?
J'ai 32 ans.
32 ans.
Oui.
Vous êtes plus âgé que moi. J'ai 30 ans. Et
D'accord.
finalement, où habitez-vous?
J'habite à Vigici, mais maintenant j'ai voyagé.
Vous avez voyagé où?
Rivers. L'état de Rivers.
L'état de Rivers. Oui, c'est bien. Moi, j'habite à Lekki et je suis à Lagos.
D'accord.
Enchantée de vous connaître, Ioma. C'est mon plaisir.
Enchantée.
Oh
Merci.
my God. Oh my God. All of us can be like Ioma. Ioma, can you quickly tell us where did you learn your beginner's French and how long did it take you?
Okay. I started from whilst I was in high school, but because I picked interest in French, so I decided to enroll with Alliance Francais. But unfortunately, my colleagues in class, they all got tired, so I couldn't continue. They had to stop that particular class, so I stopped.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. The reason why I asked Ioma to share her story is for you to know that she's not a French woman, no, but it's possible to learn it, right? And she said something which is very key for me, and that was interest. Interest is all you need. I can tell you that there are people that I studied French with that cannot speak French today. And this is not even because of anything. They can't speak. And the difference is that interest. So with the interest and with the right learning environment, you're already with live classes, so you already have the right learning environment. But what's left now is for you to have the interest. And with that, I mean, you're done. Enchanté, Ioma, c'était très bien. Merci beaucoup. Next, we have Uzezi. Uzezi, comment ça va?
Ça va bien.
Ça va bien. I already said your name, but comment vous appelez-vous?
Je m'appelle Zazie.
Uzezi. Ah, intéressant. J'aime le nom. Et quelle est ta nationalité?
Je suis nigériane.
Nigériane.
Oui.
Moi, je suis camerounaise. Quelle est ta profession?
Je suis créative de mode.
Créative de mode. Ah, c'est joli. Créative de mode. Moi, je suis professeur. Ça veut dire que vous aurez beaucoup de jolies robes. Quel âge avez-vous?
I don't understand.
Look at the screen. Quel âge avez-vous?
Okay, je 27 ans.
J'ai 27 ans. This is the same thing with Timrin. J'ai 27 ans. Quel âge avez-vous?
J'ai 27 ans.
27 ans. Et où habitez-vous? Où habitez-vous?
J'habite à Lagos. J'habite à Lagos.
J'habite à Lagos. Ah, enchanté, Uzezi.
Enchanté. Okay, I need some serious pronunciation class.
Yeah. Everybody needs pronunciation class. And I know French is like the more you look, the less you see. They write so many things they don't pronounce. But we'll get there when we get to our next sets of classes. Like Timrin, you do the same thing I asked Timrin to do, yeah? So you write down your responses, starting from je m'appelle Zézi, je suis nigériane, je suis créative de mode, j'ai 27 ans et j'habite à Lagos. Write it down and then we'll circle back to you and then you will give us your presentation. D'accord?
D'accord.
Merci beaucoup. Ensuite, ici, il y a Rukayat. Rukayat, vous m'entendez? Rukayat. Is Rukayat there? Looks like Rukayat just signed up to this class and dropped her phone on top of the fridge. Okay, so we're coming back to Timrin now. Timrin, can we go again? Présentez-vous. Présentez-vous means introduce yourself. Talk about yourself.
Okay.
So I'm not going to be asking the questions now. I just want you to flow with bonjour. Présentez-vous.
Bonjour, comment ça va?
Ça va très bien.
Oui. Je m'appelle Samuel.
D'accord.
Je suis Samuel. Je suis nigérien.
Oui.
Je suis ingénieur.
Nigérian.
Nigérian.
Oui.
Nigérien. Oui. Je suis ingénieur.
Ingénieur. Oui.
Ingénieur. J'ai 7 ans.
20. Okay. Let me just put this out there. Let me just say something. Can you give me a minute? I know we're not doing pronunciations yet, but this is just a quick tip. Whenever you see IN, right? IN in a French word, you pronounce it en, not in. Yeah.
Engineer.
And that's why we say engineer. That's why we say 27. That thing you're calling vein, it's vein. Because of that IN.
Okay,
sounds N.
Okay.
And engineer is not engineer, it's engineer.
Engineer.
Yeah. And that tip is for everybody. This is free tip. Wherever you see the word, wherever there's IN in a French word, the sound is not like English in. It's to sound like eh. All right. So Timrin, can we start afresh?
All right.
Good.
Bonjour, comment ça va?
Ça va bien.
Oui. Je suis Timrin.
Oui.
Je suis nigérien.
Nigérian. Super.
Je suis ingénieur.
Ingénieur. Excellent.
All right. J'avais 7 ans.
J'ai 27 ans.
J'avais 7 ans. J'habite à Lagos.
J'habite à Lagos. Can we give round of applause to Timmy? Can we give round of applause to Timmy? This is our sample student. Well done. Well done. You did very well. C'est excellent. Tu as bien fait. C'est excellent. Merci beaucoup. Ensuite, est-ce qu'on peut avoir Ioma? Ioma, présentez-vous, s'il vous plaît.
Encore?
Oui, encore.
Oh, d'accord. Bonjour.
Je ne veux pas poser des questions. Il faut juste présenter sans des questions. Bonjour.
D'accord. Bonjour. Je m'appelle Ihoma.
Oui.
Je suis un avocat.
Avocat, très bien.
Je suis nigériane. J'habite à Lagos.
Okay.
C'est fini. Merci.
Merci. Merci beaucoup, Ioma. Et ensuite, il y a Uzezi. Uzezi, présentez-vous.
Je m'appelle Uzezi. Je suis nigériane.
Oui.
J'ai 25 ans. Je suis créative de mode.
Oui.
J'habite à Lagos.
J'habite à Lagos. Très bien, très bien. I'm proud of you guys, really. Does anyone have any questions up to this point? Est-ce qu'il y a des questions? Est-ce qu'il y a des questions? Whenever I say est-ce qu'il y a des questions, means are there any questions? If there are questions, just put we, ask a question. If there are no questions, please Just put no in the chat, N-O-N. All right. So that I know that it's a definite no, and then we can proceed. Okay. Pas de questions. All right. So next, we're going to listen to a video. I'm going to play a video next for you to listen. It's also about introductions, and we'll pick a few new words there. All right. So just pay attention. D'accord? Can everybody hear? Can everyone hear?
Et bienvenue à Learn French with Alexa. Alexa.
Please, can you write we or no in the chat, so I know if you can hear and see the video. We can hear. Thank you, Zizi. Merci beaucoup. Timrin, Rukayat. Can we hear the video? Or is it only Uzizi that can hear? Can I get confirmations from others? Très bien, très bien. Bon, let's continue.
C'est bon. In this series entitled French Essentials, I will teach you some basic French vocabulary, which may become useful if you travel to France or in French-speaking countries, or if you have a man or the woman of your life who just have been with French. You have to start somewhere. So let's start by the beginning.
So we'll be going over some greetings, right? And then we can repeat after.
Let's start by the very beginning with some greetings. Bonjour et bienvenue. Je m'appelle Alexa. Je suis française. Je parle français et anglais. Comment ça va? Comment ça va? Of course, bonjour is hello and bienvenue is welcome.
Did we hear that? Bonjour is hello, bienvenue is welcome. In the earlier slide that was shared, we saw when the word bienvenue, it means welcome. D'accord?
Je m'appelle is one way of saying my name is. It literally means I call myself. But you just so could say je suis Alexa. I am. Je suis. Or you could also say mon nom est Alexa. My name is Alexa. Now, repeat using your name. Can you say bonjour, je m'appelle. Comment ça va?
Can we say that? Bonjour, je m'appelle. Oh, okay. Is everyone else having issues with the video? Is everyone else having issues with the video? Zizi just said the video is not playing smoothly. You can't see the video. Okay. What was it? Is Ihoma and Simrin? Can we see the video and hear it perfectly. Okay. Ce n'est pas clair. Okay, you know what? Since we are not all on the same page, what I will try to do, or what we will do, is after now, we're going to share this video with you. All right, so you can watch it at your own time, in your own clear space, and then we can engage on the video afterwards. Is that fine? Since it's not so clear, we'll share the video after now on a separately, and then we'll take it outside and we'll discuss about it after now. All right, because we're going to have a session on the live classes. There's a forum there that we're going to engage with. We're also going to have a WhatsApp group, and we'll put everybody on this group, and then we can engage and share ideas. Rukayat keeps coming in and out. I'm not quite sure. Okay. So since the video is, some people can't hear, Ihoma said the video is not clear. Let's not just waste time doing this. We'll share the video after the class. All right, we'll create a group, we'll share the video, and then we can interact with the video. Is that fine?
Très bien. Comment ça va, Miss?
All right.
Comment ça va? You would answer by, oui, ça va bien.
Okay. So that's it for today, really. Just one more time before we go, I would like Uzezi and Timrin to introduce themselves again in French, and then we call it a day. D'accord? Uzezi, on va commencer avec vous. Présentez-vous, s'il vous plaît. Présentez-vous.
Merci. Je m'appelle Zézi, je suis nigérienne.
Okay.
J'ai 27 ans.
J'ai 27 ans.
J'ai 27 ans.
Oui.
Je suis créative de mode.
Créative de mode. Créative de mode.
Je m'appelle Zézi, je suis nigérienne. J'ai 27 ans. Je suis créative de mode. J'habite à Lagos.
Enchantée Zézi. Merci beaucoup. C'est super, c'est excellent. Ensuite, malheureusement, Timrin n'est plus là. Ok, Timrin. Présentez-vous, s'il vous plaît.
Please, I don't know. What am I supposed to do now?
Introduce
my network was
yourself.
having network problems. Okay.
Introduce yourself. Yeah.
All right. Je suis Timring.
Oui.
Je suis nigérian. Je suis nigérian.
Parfait.
Je suis ingénieur.
Ingénieur.
J'avais 7 ans. J'habite
J'ai
à Lagos.
27 ans. J'ai 27 ans.
Okay. J'ai 27 ans. J'habite à Lagos.
J'habite à Lagos. Enchanté. Merci beaucoup. I don't need to ask Ihoma to go again because she's got this introductory part. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Do we have any questions? You guys have really done well. First class, and you guys are already blowing my mind. Yeah? Do we have any questions? Est-ce qu'il y a des questions just before we wrap up? Yes. Ihoma, we're going to create a WhatsApp group and add everybody on the group so we can share resources and practice on the group throughout the duration of this course. Physical classes, yeah, it's something we are working on. We're working towards physical classes so that people can sign up and attend. When we get to that point, we'll definitely let you know. So now this is where I want to implore everyone and appeal. We have we have assignments at the end of every class. And I know, yes, Lagos is tough, Port Harcourt is busy. Everybody is on the hustle. But interest and commitment is what you need on this journey, all right? More than anything else. So at the end of every class, I'm going to be sharing study resources and assignments. Please, 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 and please try and make sure you go over those resources, because during the week in the WhatsApp class, you can ask questions based off these study resources that have been shared, because I expect that you go back at your own time, watch all these things, listen to all these things. And there's no how you will listen to all this and you will not have one or two questions to ask and or points to clarify. So you do that, and then yeah, this is going to build you, going to develop you and build your competence as well. So, and we also have assignments. Devoir in French means assignments, homework that you need to do before next Saturday, before our next class. So, apprenez les membres de la famille en français. Apprenez les membres de la famille en français. That's learn members of the family in French. So, just make sure you use your phone or your dictionaries, whatever. I need at least 10 from each person, members of the family in French. So when we come next week, before we start our next week's class on nouns and articles and all, we are going to go over this assignment. Everybody will tell us the members of the family they learn. Another thing, do yourself a favor and do us a favor. When you are learning this, even if you use the basic Google Translate to translate, Google, you can click on the listen icon and you can listen to the way it is pronounced. Try and learn it. And then when we come to class next week, we're going to practice that. We're going to kick off with this before we delve into the main class for next week, all right? The objective of this is just to build your vocabulary, learn new words. That's what our assignments are going to be about. D'accord? I will confirm from our admin if we have phone numbers when you registered. Okay. Ibrahim just responded. There's a forum on the live classes dashboard that we can use. So drop your phone numbers there. We could create WhatsApp group from there. Okay. I think that's all for today. Any more questions, concerns, contributions? Can you please let us know before we call it a day? Right? So Uzizi, does that answer your question? Okay, fine. Okay, you can just put your phone number here while I take it down and we can create the group. We can totally do that. Before we leave, can we just drop our phone numbers here? Ihoma, Timrin, Uzizi. Thank you. So we're just going to take that now and create a WhatsApp group. All right, merci beaucoup. Merci pour votre temps. Thanks for your time. Et passe une belle journée. Have a great day. Bonne journée à vous. Merci tout le monde. Au revoir. Bye.